All right, well, I have Aidan Brophy and Mark Phillips from Worksafe Victoria. Welcome to this year's conference.
Greg.
Straight off the stage. Now, you spoke today about recovery and return to work was your topic, program and perspectives. And in response to a number of changes in the workers' comp landscape in Victoria, Worksafe launched the Recovery and Return to Work program. Now, tell me about the factors that led to the development and the implementation of this program.
Well, I think there was a couple of things, Greg. I think the key one was that we had a number of issues that were at play and had been at play for many years. Growing mental health issues, longer claim durations, increasing claim complexity was a major issue or challenge for us pre-pandemic, but the pandemic itself accelerated all of those things. And I guess what the program was born out of was trying to put some structure around how can we support those more complex recovery and return to work sort of situations with newer case managers who are working remotely and dealing with that complexity and challenge. So we kind of brought together the best of and tried to focus in on those that needed the help most to make that happen, but that was the essence of it.
And when you brought together the best of, what were the elements of the best of that you put into the program and implemented?
Well, I could probably talk to the some aspects. I'll get Mark to talk to clinical panel, but in terms of the claims best of, we brought in agent SMEs, so subject matter experts, to the forum, our own team, but we also brought in the best of data. So we're working on and identifying those workers that were perhaps most at risk. So it wasn't about looking at every single one, it was looking at those that needed the help most and how do we find that. We also then brought in the clinical panel, so Mark, over to you.
Yeah, so the clinical panel, so we used a contracted sort of panellist that we contract to Worksafe. We used them as part of the case conference to interact with the agents and have that peer-to-peer discussion with the treaters before the case conferences to really tease out what are some of the complexity issues. Because as Aidan said, these weren't the necessarily straightforward claims, not that any claims necessarily straightforward, but these are some of the more complex claims. So how can we tease out those issues? How can we give good clinical expertise to the agents and in that case conference environment work with agents to help with a more sort of strategic case management plan that's got that clinical input to it.
Because the clinical panel's multidisciplinary, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's got both medical practitioners and allied health practitioners. For this program, we predominantly use the psychologists and the physiotherapists from the panel. Occasionally we used medical advisors and medical practitioners, but most of it was the physiotherapist and psychologist.
And how long have you had the program running?
Well, it's 2.5 years now.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So March 2020, but we scaled it throughout that time period as well. So we started here, and then we're looking at claims at about the 6-month mark, and then we're going, well, we need to do something earlier, and we need to continue to do a bit of work later as well. So it extended beyond that period of time, and I think the next iteration for us is how do we scale it, but scale it in a way that, because it's very intensive, how can we do that in a manner that focuses on the broader portfolio that our agents manage on our behalf? So that's the next challenge for us.
And what results have you seen so far?
Well, we've seen some very, very good return to work results. 3,500 people have returned to work through the program. That's sustained return to work. I was mentioning to the audience, 60 of those workers have been off work for more than 2 years, actually went back to work, which was a great outcome. So we've seen really significant impacts there, and it's probably helped stabilise our return to work performance and our overall results, but we've got a long way to go, obviously, with the challenges. So we're very pleased with that. A lot of intensive work, but some great return to work outcomes as well. So big tick for us.
Congratulations, and well done with the program, and thank you for contributing to this year's conference.
Thanks for the opportunity to present.